Hello everybody and welcome back to another edition of OOFDAH Premium. I'm your host and maybe uncle, who knows these days, Darren Walters, and it's great to have you here. And in this week's edition we've got something super special. We've come up with, well, over the weekend I had at least 3 epiphanies, right? And I don't get those very often because once you reach a certain age I think those are kind of off limits. You know. So, I'm trying to do the best with what I've got, with what nature gave me, right? But no, seriously, in all seriousness, what we have is 3 new concepts. And the first concept is speculation. Speculation upgrade, to be a little more exact. And then the next opportunity, the next concept is speculation that's continuous, okay? And then the next topic, which is really cool, is pricing out of the market, okay? So we'll get to all 3 here shortly, and we're going to see what it's all about, okay? So if you see, I got the standard setup here. I got the 3 grower game going on, and it turns out we're getting closer to Halloween, Thanksgiving, and so you might have noticed a festive change in our decor, so just want to pass that along. Alright, so what have we got here? We're checking out speculation. We're revisiting it. Speculation, if you recall, is when you can place up to 3 tokens on a crop in the market during any growing season, right? And so if I do that, you know, let's say I place my 3 tokens here. It's on broccoli, and somebody harvests broccoli. Note that it doesn't have to be on the next turn. It can be any time, so long as the broccoli stays on the person's field, right? That's kind of a key critical factor. Once the broccoli goes off the field, if it's harvested, then the grower who speculated gets to double their money. In this case, it'll be 6. But yeah, if the crop happens to come off of there due to adversities, then the money is lost, and it goes back into the depository. So anyway, so that's how the speculation has worked so far. Well, I've decided that it's worth expanding. We should expand it to include even more stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to say on the first round you can only speculate a maximum of 3 tokens, right? Just because that's sort of the limit for early in the game. But on the second round, we've decided we could bump it up to the next denomination, and that denomination is the 5 tokens, okay? So on your second round, you have to kind of make sure in your mind which round you're on. Then growers can speculate once using the 5 tokens. On the third round, they can use the 10 tokens, and on the fourth round, they can use the final denomination, which is 30 tokens. So by game's end, somebody can in fact swing the game in their favor. It's very possible by simply speculating 30 tokens and doubling it to 60, right? That's a big time score late in the game, and it should increase the suspense and the drama and the excitement towards game's end. So alright, so we're going to take care of this. That's the speculation. Now what do I mean by continuous speculation, right? Well, all that simply means is if I start out, and it doesn't have to be on the 3 tokens round, it could be starting out on any round, the 5, the 10, or the 30, first, second, third, or fourth rounds, or even more if the game goes that long. What you would do is you place your money out, and if it's successful you get your money back, but instead of collecting it back on the farm, what's going to happen instead is you double your money, and then you can look around and you can decide whether or not you want to speculate again. Now, speculation has historically been an activity on a grower's turn. Well, we're going to expand that. We're going to include more because speculation is such an opportunity that I want growers whose turn it's not to have an opportunity to do so. So the idea is speculation is going to be like trading. You know, you can trade between rounds with the other growers. Well, you can also speculate. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to make that available. Okay? I think that opens up things nicely. Notice how if two growers speculate on the same crop, what's going to happen is each grower gets double the amount of whatever has originally been speculated. So that could turn out to be very lucrative if two people decide to gang up on a crop. So let's just bear that in mind as we're playing the game. Anyway, so for a continuous speculation, I would take that money and let's say another grower has beans. I would take that money and I'd place it on beans. And then, of course, if the beans grows, gets harvested rather, then that means that money amount will double again, right? So if you're really lucky, you can keep doubling your money. However, here's the downside. The downside is if the crops are not harvested, but in fact marauded by adversities, removed, then you're in a bit of a pickle because you no longer have the funds, and all the funds go back into the depository. So it is a serious gain or a serious loss. It depends on how much risk you're willing to take, right? And so we need to bear that in mind as we're playing the OOFDAH, just what we're willing to tolerate as far as gains and losses. Okay, so that takes care of continuous speculation. The next cool feature of the game that I thought of, and I don't know why I'm thinking of this so late. You know, OOFDAH has been years in the making, at least 10, I would say. But at this point, we're still coming up with some new ideas to still incorporate in gameplay, probably long after I'm gone. Future generations can work on it and improve the game to their liking. So what's going to happen is we're going to price people out of the market. Now, in real life, of course, you're a douchebag if you do that. Don't do that. That's really... it's super mean, it's classist, and dumb. Because with OOFDAH, we want to include everyone. Everyone is welcome to the table. Everyone has an equal opportunity of success and growing their wealth. Okay? And doing well in the game. So, bearing that in mind, pricing out of the market, simply means that when you look at the resource shop items and you decide that you want to increase the price of the item for opponents, so it makes it harder for them to acquire the things they need to compete with you on your farm, you can do that by simply taking your own hunger tokens off the farm and placing them on top of the item in the resource shop. That indicates to everyone that this is an item that is being priced, and it means if some other grower is going to purchase the item, they have to pay that elevated price plus the regular cost. Okay. So what happens if the item is not purchased? Well, if it's not purchased and the money is still sitting there by game's end, then the grower who put that money out is going to lose it. So they have the opportunity of buying the item that they placed the money on, in which case it'll be a loss, but they would have lost it anyway at game's end. And so it's really up to the grower to decide whether or not they want to purchase that item, if in fact no one else does. So that's how it stands right now. I mean, unless there's another way of working this, which I haven't thought of, which is very, very, very possible. You know, the old neurons and synapses aren't firing maybe like they used to in the youth. So anyway, all right. So bearing those three things in mind, we could play a quick game real quick, just to demonstrate kind of what that looks like. So it would be starting halfway through the game, and we would just say, I don't know, grower A has spinach, and it's grower B's turn. They notice I have spinach, so they're gonna place 3 tokens on spinach in the market. Grower B over here, let's say they want to put it on spinach too because they think grower A is going to harvest spinach, right? Well, if that's the case, they've decided, you know, let's say they have a little more cash on hand. They're going to speculate and bet 5 tokens. Okay, so notice how the rule of multiple growers goes into effect. We've got 5 and we've got 3. So let's say the spinach does get harvested, in fact, and this grower gets its funds. Well, what's going to happen is we double the amount, regardless of contribution. We double the amount, and so it's 8, so it's going to be 16 tokens. But those 16 tokens are going to go to each grower. They're not going to be split. Well, wait a minute. I just thought of this. They could be split in half, or it could be split by the total number of growers, which would make it fair. It'd be 8 and 8. Oh no, okay, so I can't do that. I can't do that because 8 would be less than double 5, and 5 is the amount that grower C put in, right? So they wouldn't be compensated correctly. So instead, what we're going to do, like I said, we're just going to combine it, and we're going to say they get double whatever the amount was that was speculated. So in this case, it was 8. 8 gets doubled to 16, and 16 goes to each grower. Okay? So it's a pretty lucrative thing, especially if you get somebody on board and you haven't contributed that much. Okay, so bearing that in mind, each grower, or each of the other growers benefited from one grower harvesting because they speculated, and they speculated correctly. Now, since that was correct, the spinach is correct, harvested, what we can do is we can take those 8 tokens that were still there, and if another crop, let's say grower B has kale, we're going to move the 8 tokens. Oh, and then the question becomes which grower gets to decide to move the item. So maybe that's handled by a roll-off, right? I haven't quite figured this out yet. So maybe continuous speculation isn't up on the up as an offer yet. So I don't know. Let's see. I think once trading and speculation opens up in between turns, the first come first served person gets to do this, and so it's 8 tokens goes to the next crop, kale. Actually, no, these things doubled. It wouldn't be the 8 tokens. It would be 16 tokens. Yeah, 16 tokens goes to kale. And so then again, if the kale is harvested, then the grower who changed the harvest, or changed the trading, gets to benefit double that amount. Wow, that's impressive. Okay, so I'm not sure I'm settled on continuous speculation. There's some other rules, a little bit of minutia and details that had to be worked out. I haven't figured it out yet. So that's a back burner idea, but the additional speculation upgrade is very solid. It's been play tested, and so I think it's running pretty smoothly. Okay, so that takes care of that. Now we move on to pricing people out of the market, and this is a cool aspect of gameplay that has remained dormant. I didn't think of it until kind of the last minute here, but the idea is If I really don't want somebody to get something nice like crop insurance or maybe even the farm crew, I can place a contribution of any amount. Notice the, it can be any portion of your income on the farm. Let's say in this case we're going to put 30 tokens out. Well, now the farm crew is worth 30 plus 45. And so that's 75 tokens that someone's going to have to fork out in order to get the farm crew. It could be that no one can afford it, and so they simply pass on the item, and you have accomplished a defensive maneuver, essentially. So, all right. So that kind of wraps it up. Let me know what you think in the comments and suggestions below the video. If you've got any feedback for me, positive or negative, doesn't matter really. Just so long as I get audience participation, because your contribution and your thoughts and your inputs are what make OOFDAH an eternal game, right? We're trying to cheat death here, and we're going to do that by contributing to future generations and giving them a legacy project which they should be happy to work on and improve throughout their lives. Alright, so I think that's going to do it for me. Until next time, keep on playing OOFDAH, everybody, and I'll see you later. Adios.